The truck looked too clean for the price. $5,000, fresh wash, new tires, cold air, clean interior. The seller said it was his daily driver, and the only reason he was selling it was because he had already bought something newer. On the surface, it looked like the kind of marketplace deal people fight over, but the scan tool told a different story. The buyer showed up with cash in his pocket and a cheap code reader in his glove box. At first, everything felt right. The started quickly, the idle was smooth, no smoke, no strange knocks, no check engine light. The seller even said, "See, no lights on the dash." That sounded good. But no warning light does not always mean no problem. The buyer plugged in the scanner anyway. At first, the code reader showed no active trouble codes. That made the seller smile. But then the buyer checked the readiness monitors. That is where the deal changed. Several monitors were incomplete. Catalyst monitor, oxygen sensor monitor, evaporative system monitor. The truck had not been driven long enough since the computer was reset. In plain English, somebody had recently cleared the codes. Not fixed the truck, cleared the computer. The seller said the battery had died last week. Maybe that was true. A dead battery can reset monitors. But the buyer noticed something else. The inspection sticker was expired, and the seller kept changing the subject whenever emissions came up. So they went for a longer test drive. For the first 10 minutes, the truck drove fine. Then, once it warmed up, the idle started to hunt. At stoplights, the RPM dipped low, then jumped back up. The transmission shifted a little rough. The fuel smell got stronger. No check engine light yet, but the truck was starting to tell on itself. Back in the parking lot, the buyer scanned it again. This time, one pending code appeared. It pointed toward a lean condition. That could be something simple like a vacuum leak. It could be a dirty sensor, or it could be a bigger fuel delivery problem. The point was not that the truck was junk. The point was that the seller had advertised it like there were no problems when the computer history said otherwise. The buyer asked one simple question. Why were the codes cleared? The seller said he did not know. Then the price suddenly became negotiable. That was the final red flag. If you are buying a used truck, here are the 3 lessons. First, bring your own scanner. Do not trust the dash. A warning light can be cleared in seconds. Second, check readiness monitors. If multiple monitors are incomplete, the computer may have been reset recently. Third, test drive long enough for the truck to warm up. Some problems hide until the engine reaches operating temperature. The buyer walked away from that deal. Not because one pending code scared him. He walked away because the story did not match the evidence. So, would you trust a truck with no check engine light but incomplete monitors? Or would you walk away?